Hello, powerful player in the game. If you have clicked on this and this is for you, you are a authority figure. You are a leading professional. You are numero uno in pursuit of your dreams. You are waiting for something to happen in your reality. You've done a lot of the work in your past already. There are some things that you now need to accept. Firstly, I would like to welcome myself back, and I would like to welcome you to the channel because you specifically have brought me here today. I felt guided to come back to this channel. It's been over a year. So we're here for a reason. Let's go, shall we? Let's just dive in and waste no time. I see that you're waiting for something, okay? I see that it's been growing slowly but surely. Now, I've got an obsession with the ecosystems, micro, meso, macro, exo, chrono, yeah? I see that you've got some awareness of that, or you need to go and have a look at that. That could be in my favourites on this channel. If not on one of my other channels, there's a ecosystem playlist featuring Bradford Brenner's ecosystem. Now, there's something you're not speaking about in regards to your development, right? I'm looking at feeling trapped or imprisoned. There could be a lot of legal issues around you at this time. You could be repeatedly getting dragged back into a negative space. Now, I'm looking at karma when I say that. Stay with me. There's a lot of jumping here I'm going to do in my speech because there's a lot to cover in a short window of time, yeah? So straight away, the visions that I'm receiving, I can see this imprisonment. So there's legislation, guidance, meticulous attention to detail needed for you to move through this obstacle. Because when you're looking at the micro of the situation, it's great, fair enough, you know what to do. You move on to the meso, you know what to do. But when you get to the macro and you're in the middle of the exo, there's limitations here and you haven't got jurisdiction. So I'm looking at someone who hasn't got total jurisdiction and absolute authority of a situation where you're used to having the authority. This is fantastic for you because how else do you level up? Right? One of my favourite quotes that have got me to where I am today could be could be seen as obnoxious or narcissistic to even have an ideology like this, but who cares at a time like this in humanity, right? The quote is, you want to be the dumbest person in the boardroom. And a lot of real powerful players who are ignorant, they would rather be the smartest one in the room. I'm telling you, if you're dying to be the smartest one in the room, you're not going to win in life because you're limiting yourself. I am constantly striving and encouraging anyone else I know, try and be the dumbest one in the room. When you start getting too smart in that room, you best head off and go and get another room, book another room, and get a whole new set of new people in there. So once again, you're the dumbest motherfucker in the room because that's how you win in this world. Yeah, you need more intelligence, and we thrive off intelligence. That's the greatest asset of all, intelligence, right? So the situation is you're being encouraged to evolve again in a direction that you normally wouldn't evolve in. If you look at all my YouTube channels, you'll see that I'm not an atypical person. I read tarot, I read cards, I dive into prophecy, I'm a shaman, I'm building tech, big tech. Qubit and TPS, what the hell doesn't add up? Studying regionalism and internationalism. There is no limitation on self, so don't put it on yourself because you've got a gift. We're going to look at what your gift is. You know what your gift is, but you're now asked, right, by the hermitologist, by your higher self that's coming here to deliver this message to you today, to move forward with more gravitas and fuck it and F it, and not outwardly spoken, but your aura can exude that, right? There's more adventure that you're craving, right? In my head, I get this gorgeous image of the multi-planetary movement and the idea that one planet's not enough, right? Really obnoxious to think that we can be so much more than just Earth. I mean, let's not waste our time on this planet anymore. We must keep going now. Come on. Let's open Mars. Next, Venus. Pluto, can we get to you in time? Like, it's fun, and it's a way that we should be looking at life, and the more that we choose to look at life through these lenses, life opens up, right? And many of us are monotropic. That is an underlying trait in autism, which suggests that we all have kaleidoscopic vision. We view things in very monotropic ways when we are allowed to just freely let the mind have a mindgasm, right? Cool, right? So that's what you're being encouraged to do. Don't fear your mindgasm. I say that knowing that you've been through a lot in your life and you know what that means, because there's been times where I've had a mindgasm and your family and friends think you're an nutcase and maybe you need to head off to a mental institution, right? But no, the world's waking up to what true creativity is, what true difference is. And we all have multivariants and differentials that are real signifiers of why we're on this planet and what we're meant to be doing uniquely. You're a real authoritative figure, okay? I see a lot of Celtic ties for you, which is really awesome, okay? Don't lose your heritage, please. With whatever you're doing, you know that I use tarot and tea leaves, and I just see clairvoyantly and speak. You've got a gift, okay? Oh, do you dance? Do you Celtic dance? It's not tap dancing. I can't get the word out, but it's on the edge of my tongue. You know what I'm talking about. It's a very traditional Celtic dance. I see you doing that. Remember to do that. Like, okay, in my head I'm getting, when you're hosting events and ceremonies, get the dancers in, get your heritage in the room, yeah? Because you're hosting events, you're in a well enough position to kind of add all the features that you want. Add a little bit of something that's rooted in your heritage. Sometimes you would hold this back and only do this in certain places or on your birthday or a special occasion, but bring your heritage through. That's really important now as well, where we're going in regards to indigeneity and the shifts in the world. Your heritage has got to stand beside you now, because it's important. It's why you're here. It strengthens your morals and your integrity and your belief system in self, and it shows that there's more to you than just this persona that you give off, because you're incredibly hard working. I also assume that you're a masculine, because the images coming out here is a really stern masculine vibration, but you're also really loving. You've got a lot of memories, you've got a lot of passed on loved ones in spirit. I see a sister in spirit, okay? Or something about your sister on earth. If your sister's really spiritual and she's living on earth, then she's got a gift to give to you. Yeah, whatever she does and whatever she's been studying lately, that's a gift that you two have. She's going to start awakening you to her gift. So if you're really authoritative and you have no time for spiritual airy fairiness, and she sits around hugging trees all day, this is just a rough example, whatever she does, I see like a lotus. I see a lot more of a loving vibration, something a lot lighter. So whatever your sister does, you've had no reason to see her or spend time with her. Now you do, because what she's going to teach you through her discipline that's linked to your heritage together, it's going to strengthen you and balance you out, and it's going to be a real gift and I get an assurance. It's going to be real assurance to you in the future as well. Amazing. A lot of decisions I see that you want to know about, okay? Fine, we're going to dive into it. Interesting questions. So I see you talking about a relationship. Should you pop the question, should you get married? Firstly, please don't ask me that, but you're asking your higher self, so we'll speak to your higher self and see. But I mean, you should. I always bitch at people when people come to me in readings and go, are we going to get married? Should I get married? What should I do? Like, that's your internal, that's your heart. And immediately I'm panicking now, so I'm in your vibration. I'm like, oh, that's a serious question. I can't answer that for you, because you can't answer that for you. You don't want to answer it. You want to let the reader provide you with the answer. And I'm like, I don't want to answer that. That's too much pressure. That's your life. You take responsibility. So me and you in the now moment are going, hey, no, I don't know. Do what you want. You know, which is really funny, because it's nice to be able to receive your energy and see how it really does work. And if you resonate, hit the like, you know, but that's what I'm getting. But let me let you know, right? If you do have a sister in spirit or a feminine in spirit that's been really close to you, like a sister, right? Could be an auntie, an ancestor watching over you. They're giving you a lot of love and vibration. They told you when they was on earth that you would be this authoritative figure and you would get to this point, and you have. And they watch over you and they put this kind of glow around your aura. So every now and then, sometimes on your left side, sometimes on your right side, you might see a little spark, like a little star. Like, it's not quite a shooting star falling down. It's just in the blink of an eye, like a flash of a camera, but there's no camera there. That's this person. You would know who it is. Sometimes when you're in the mirror, you just see a flash of light coming from behind you, around your aura. That's them. That's a reminder that they're there with you, okay? Now, you've got to keep making the effort, though. There is no rest for you. Yeah, no matter how powerful you become, no matter how top of the chain you get and you're the best in your field, you're the most disciplined, you're the most authoritative, no one can touch you. There's always someone on the come up. There's always someone who you haven't seen in the lane over there. They're getting real fucking rapid and fast in this day and age. People are skirting out left and right with a winning formula, let me tell you that much. So really keep working on yourself. Keep working on multidisciplinary approaches as well. Like, don't just limit yourself to one discipline and one characteristic of self. Keep exploring different ways to be and exist in this life. Epic journey that you're on. Pretty fucking rad, pretty cool. You got a lot going on for yourself. You got a really, really firm foundation in your life at this time, okay? So we're talking about relationships you really want to know about most of all. Let me tell you what I see for that. The main thing that's coming through here is you're healing incredibly well. That's the main thing. You need to know that, because you don't give yourself enough credit for that, and you want the answers to what you do next in this relationship. But the truth is, let's look at the healing that you've been on. Don't want to hear it, just want the answer. Don't want to hear it, just want the answer. That's not how it works. That's not how it works in spirit. Because until you can actually slow down enough to value the fact that you are healing in the now moment from the torture and trials and tribulations that you went through in relation to the past relationship you're in, or the struggle of the relationship that you've been in now, you can't move through it and get a clear sight of the next step, right? Because you've had a guard up, you've had your shield in place. The vision I'm getting in my head is, in London we have the guardsmen, the men, they've got a more official name than that, I can't for the life of me think of it now, but they stand outside Buckingham Palace and they just stand there and they're not allowed to move. And then you get some stupid little imbecile coming over, filming a TikTok, trying to punch them, trying to dance in front of them, trying to irritate them, do whatever they can to disturb that stoic vibration, right? And the truth of the matter is, you've been forced to stay on guard and not move at all, because of your health, I see, because of your healing journey, and because if you took another step, right, it would be incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. There was risk all around you, and although you knew you were being guided, you weren't ready to take that step until you were healed. I want to say you're scared. You've been scared to take this risk. It's been easy. It's been incredibly easy. And I think you've been goaded by other people in the network and around you, telling you that this is incredibly easy. Okay, this is where forgiveness comes in, okay? So we're getting to this relationship conversation that I see that's at your front of your mind, but I need you to understand that everyone telling you over and over again that this is easy, and you being goaded in whatever way you feel like you've been goaded because you've been on guard and on stand, that's the biggest challenge of life. Because firstly, it suggests that, okay, maybe your listening skills haven't been that great in the past. Maybe you listening to other people's advice hasn't been great for you in the past. When you're an authoritative person, like I said at the beginning, didn't I? What did I say about you being the dumbest one in the room? If you're the smartest one in the room, and you know that everyone is around you is dumb, and you're repeatedly the smartest one in the room, then when someone does make an offering and make a statement and encourage you to do something because it's easy, you're going to disregard it, because straight away they're dumber than you. There's nothing more debilitating in reality than being the smartest one in the room over and over again, because there is no need for you to listen to them, for they are dumber than you. That's the best way I can say it, and it sounds rude, but you would resonate with that if this is truly for you. So you've stopped listening to everyone else because you perceive them to be dumber than you. And actually, the truth of the matter is, what they were telling you to do was the simple advice: just keep moving forward, take that step. And you didn't do it. You refused to outrightly do it because you're too, I want to say you've been quite jaded, but you had no trust, because you were healing and because being on guard felt like the safest thing to do for your health. And there's nothing wrong with that. Time is but a mere illusion. When you're ready to move, you're ready to move. But you've got to give people more credit. And actually, maybe let's both of us now refrain from calling everyone else dumber than us. Because actually, sometimes it is the simplest one in the room that comes up with the simplest idea that makes the most sense in the long run, right? You haven't got to be a doctor or professor to make sense, yeah? There's a pen on the floor. what do? Pick it up. I don't want to pick it up. Why? The cleaner can pick it up when she comes, but she's not coming till 7 p.m. Well, it can stay there. Yeah, but you need to write something now. Oh, well, I'm still not going to pick it up. That's a trivial example of whatever this situation is and how it's kind of played out. I'm going to dig in more, don't worry, because this has been a life lesson about your authority and accepting that your destiny is really, really rooted in having a really firm foundation in yourself. So I guess that there is an underlying vibration within you, energy, frequency and vibration that is really rooted and creates a ripple effect in you whereby you haven't really accepted your power. And actually, when you find it hard to listen to other people in conversation and give them their roses and give that, it's really powerful to give other people who, even if you perceive them to be less than you, less educated than you, and you're still the smartest one in the room, you can still give someone else their roses. Because if that person then said, you know what, I'll pick up the pen for you and I'll actually write whatever you want me to write, then that everyone has quality and characteristic to bring to the table. So it's important to see that. Because if you give someone else their roses and credentials, it doesn't take away from you. It doesn't make you less of the person in the room. Yeah? And I think that's why you've kind of been stuck in the room waiting for the cleaner to come at 7 p.m. to pick up that pen you need, instead of getting up and doing it yourself. And that's an example of why you should have already moved on and went into a whole new room with a whole nother set of people where you're at the bottom of the totem pole. It's not a nice feeling. So many powerful players in the game. I see it a lot over and over again with masculine energy as well. You're a master in your field. You're a master in your craft. So what do you do now? You keep sitting there and being a master, or you advance in your discipline. You either fractal down, you quantify that reality, that discipline, you study a molecular structure of that, biology, biotechnology, biomaterial. There's other ways, there's other branches within biology, other branches within mathematics, other branches of spirituality. You've mastered the Tibetan bowl, you've mastered tarot. Why not try yoga? Why not try tea reading, tea leaves, palm reading? We can go all day. There's more for you. You're being asked to do more because you're already a master, and that's why so many others fall short and feel unfulfilled in their life, because there's more to achieve. I always speak about the masters in this world, right? And it sounds quite obnoxious sometimes. We go back to some of the root words of this stuff, but let's look at it. The people that are highest on the net and doing the most incredible things, right? Whether we like them or not. Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Elon we can throw in there. How many corporations they got? Richard Branson, Virgin, how many things fall out of the Virgin umbrella? Microsoft over there, how many things fall out underneath that umbrella? Meta underneath the umbrella. Conglomerates all over the place, basically. And they're incredible because they're doing multi-different things. That means that one person took that one idea and made a plethora of things from it. Monotropic. Underlying traits of autism, once again, coming from some of the most richest people in the world. So there's more to be looked at, there's more to be understood. If you're feeling trapped or feeling insecure because the trap card's coming out again, or this situation is unrattling you, then it's a sign from spirit that, hey, it's time for a change. Your body desires more, you need to be doing more, there's more opportunity for you now, let's go for it. Take a risk, right? I'm getting drawn to the Greek stories as well of Athena and Medusa and Poseidon and the toxicity that exists in those stories. If you understand the story of Medusa and how she became Medusa, and she was raped, and then after that's when she developed into who she was, and then she turned into stone and started looking at everyone. Started turning people into stone by how she looked at them. She was cursed, yeah? So whether or not you feel the cursed energy on you or feel the cursed energy on another or around you, your life story is going to be reflective of the toughest stuff in the world. So you've got to be able to embrace that. Victory comes from the struggle, right? And the story aligned to you today, the telenovela that we're using to bring you this message for you specifically, is the Harriet Tubman. You've seen it in the thumbnail. That's why you clicked here. Be free or die. The Harriet movie is sensational. There are parts in the movie where she runs away from the cotton field, from her slave masters, and as she runs away, she every now and then passes out and goes into reverie, imagination, lucid dream state, and starts to see the way to go. She gets guided by gods, the trees are talking to her. She's really engaged with the universe at a higher altitude, and she's going with her intuitive self. That's alchemy at its finest in what is a great movie and life story. The Underground Railroad, truth in that story. She came back to her master's land multiple times and freed the rest of her people, every now and then going through another challenge where she's had to use her clairvoyance to find her way to safe passage. Yeah? Harriet Tubman, one of the most famous women in history because of this. Yeah? So your history and your fame is attached to your struggle and the bullshit of your past and the ability to accept it and talk about it. You've been emotionally withdrawn as well from whatever this situation is. So you've pulled away and been reluctant to share and open your heart. So I would understand why you won't want a given relationship, but your on guard nature has created a lot of resistance for you in many relationships. And you've kept yourself a prisoner from refusing to even engage with this, right? Because you're trusting the outward expectation of you instead of your inner knowing. You've handcuffed yourself in trauma. You could have even been into a mental health institution. You could have got yourself sectioned or took yourself to some kind of mental health place to try and get better because you thought you was ill. It's like the story of if Harriet Tubman said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to take all of these slaves with me back to the safe zone. I'm actually just going to go back to the master and tell him I'm sick and stay trapped. That's what you've been battling with, something severe like this, like where you've been questioning whether or not what's going on in your mind is reality. You've been glitching out in the matrix over and over again, not believing you are who you are and that your destiny is your destiny, and you haven't been able to truly align to your new beginning yet. Fair play, that's life. Yeah? Time is but a mere illusion. It happens when it happens. You can't force the change. You can't move on until you're done. This has been karmic for you too. So the associations that you had around this as well, family, friends, kids, network, your own inner child as well. You've had to get up to date with all of them. Everyone in your network, everyone in your ecosystem. Yeah? You've had to find alignment and heal from a hell of a lot of stuff. You've done that now. Victory and success is what's coming for you in the future. You've got to choose balance though. You've got to choose this new beginning outwardly for yourself, and you've got to be hopeful about it as well, and you've got to be willing to love again, right? Speak about your loving feelings and be wise about it as well. Use your past experiences to speak outwardly about love, about the love in your heart, about what you feel, because you're asking questions. I saw 2 rings come up and it was like, do I go and get married? Do I make this offer? Do I propose? Right? But the truth of the matter is, only you know what to do, because you have the gold, right? You have the gold book. I want to say the gold standard, but this book is red, but it's beaming bright. You have the diary. Do you write in a diary or a journal or in a red book? Yeah? You have the code, basically. You have the answers. But there's a lot of forgiveness that needs to happen, because I'm looking at abandonment here as well. Childhood abandonment as well, and individuality that's really, really weighed on you too, and your awareness of what your actions have done. Take accountability for what you've done as well. It's not easy for a masculine, and if you're feminine, then you're giving me strong masculine energy here, and you're in a really powerful position where you act more masculine, so big up yourself. If you are, that's even more impressive, but your spiritual career is really important to you, and your spiritual career is going to open up and be fantastic, and the future looks really beautiful for you. But you must have compassion and respect for everyone else. Yeah, everyone else needs to be valid equally, and you can't talk down to people and just look at them like they're less than you, or they're beneath you, or they're not as smart as you, right? For whatever reason, you are an authoritative figure and you're the lead in the environment. You need to get yourself around more people that are more distinguished in other fields than you. Give you a wake-up call. I know it may be unsettling for you to be not the smartest in the room anymore, but that's how you stay advanced. That's how you continue to evolve. And you're so used to being in control and everyone doing what you say and you being the smarty pants, that it's intimidating for you to be challenged. And whatever this relationship is, it seems romantic, but maybe it's just something that you love and it's not romantic at all. And it's just encouraging you to understand you're going to have to learn to love people who don't agree with you, and then learn to love the things that you really struggled with in childhood, and forgive your sister, I want to say as well. Like, I see a sister energy here, like we said earlier in this reading, and there's like some kind of disconnect in that relationship, and there's this forgiveness that kind of needs to come from your side about how you viewed that relationship, right? Slavery is on this card. It's imprisonment and slavery. So whatever you've been enslaved to, whatever your sister or siblings been enslaved to, right? There's love everywhere here. You got to love. Maybe you've got issues with women in relationships. That could be a thing too. The role of the woman in your reality and how you've had relationships with women in the past. You're going to have to learn to love women and understand where your disconnect with women really came from. And that, like, I grew up in an environment, right, where love and love in relationships were something for the woman to portray. But I come from a Jamaican background. A lot of Jamaicans are very dominant in nature. This isn't a disrespect. It's very, woman go and do this, woman go and do that. The man makes a joke and a mockery of the woman. The woman just stays over there and cooks and cleans and does all the stuff that the masculine wants. So women are belittled in certain cultures, not as just a cultural way of being. That's our slang, that's our talk, right? So if that's the case, then you've got to understand, in today's society and where we're at now, has that been a blessing or a hindrance to you? And how do we shift to make sure that we can be more loving and respectful to the woman in your life? Because if this is a love that you want to move towards, or I want to say an accomplice, right? Oh, this is the through route of what you're going to be doing in your life and what you want to move to in your future. This is a partnership and completion of an old cycle. Yeah, you might want to go on holiday to Asia as well at some point as well, as a signifier of completing all of this and getting away from any discontent you've had in the past. A real monk monastery Asian trip I see as well in the future at some point, yeah? But there's all togetherness coming with this, healing, bonding, like someone pulling you up and you pulling them back up. Both of you hand in hand on this. This could be partnership, allegiances, alliances in business, but it's rooted in love. Yeah, you should probably love your business partner and love your best friend and love your colleagues, love your affiliates, love your stakeholders. Do you get what I mean? You want to spread that love wide, but there's a clear connection that you've asked me about when you come here about that love, and you know exactly what to do with it. And you haven't moved because you haven't been ready. You can only move when you've learned the lesson and you know how to speak it into existence. And you know that you're willing to accept your flaws and all. Yeah? You've been hiding in the shadows or avoiding that love and that conversation because you're putting yourself in a position where you're no longer the authority or the lead. You're going to have to listen to someone else. Take heed of someone else's advice. And there's a risk that you could be rude and undermine the other person and demoralize the team or demoralize others in a way you've done in the past, but only you're realizing now, for you're reaching a new phase of evolution. That's fine. We evolve. That's what we're meant to do. And you're allowed to do all of those things as well, but then reflect and go, do you know what? Maybe I didn't say that in the best way. I'm sorry. I could have done like that. Yeah, have a bitch and a moan, then apologize. Learn new ways to be a leader, right? Learn from others. Take the lead, take the initiative to change. Speak about your strengths and weaknesses. I always advise people to do a SWOT on themselves. Do a SWOT on their team. Everyone do their own SWOT analysis on self. We'll come back, we'll all sit down and we'll all look at everyone else's unique SWOT, which is your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and your threats. And then everyone shares it collectively. Then we're looking at our colleagues, our family members, our friends, whoever's involved in this experience, and we're understanding what they feel their insecurities are. Then you can look at them and go, do you know what? Actually, I don't think that's a weakness for you. I think it's a strength. Because in our team, you provide this. Do you know what? I won't let that be a threat for you in the future because I know you struggle with that. So now I'll be an accountability partner for you, and I'll remind you that you shouldn't be threatened by that, or when that does arise in the environment, I'll make sure that does not a risk to you. That's what we do here, right? Evolution, teamwork, support, nurturing the team, nurturing self and other. That's not an aspect we outrightly teach in the world. It's all about stakeholders, money, and being the lead, and banging the hammer when you need to, right? That's why we're here. That's why the hermatologist is here. That's why HERTEC's here. This is why the School of Hermitology is here, because ecological well-being is more important now than ever. And you have been on a journey to truly understand what ecological well-being really, really means to you, okay? And you're getting to the final stages now where you're learning that you don't need to be on guard. It's not as scary as you thought. You've been challenged out of your own skin, and that's fucking scary. But that's been your destiny. Whatever you've been going through, it's been your destiny. And well done. You can't fail at destiny. No one's going to flunk destiny class. Yeah? And that's what you got to learn. That's what we're going to leave you with. If something's destined for you, you're not going to fail. Yeah? Stop beating yourself up and making yourself feel like you're not enough because you've got to put on this exterior, right? The best fucking most amazing people in the world wear their heart on their sleeve and take a risk and say how they really feel and cry and burp and do awkward things and make a fool of themselves and then get back up and keep going. And yeah, it's not cool, but being cool is not even cool anymore, right? Being genuine and down to earth and thought-provoking and overly expressive is way more attractive in a leader than trying to be repeatedly stoic and strong and actually saying, I like when I say, I didn't know that, tell me more. I love that. I love that for me. I don't know anything about that actually. Can you tell me more? And it's often, sometimes I feel like, shit, I should know all about that considering I do this. But you know an aspect of it. You don't know what they're saying, or you wouldn't have called it that, or you don't know that acronym. What acronym's that? I never heard of that. What's that linked to? And ask more. It's fulfilling. Tell me more. Everyone around me, tell me more. Tell me things I don't know, right? So that's a shift for you. Instead of going, I already know that, I know this, you do this, you do that. Start getting everyone around you, the team around you. Tell me something I don't know, please. Everyone's job here is to educate me on something I don't know. Because that's how you're all going to get a raise. That's how you're all going to get a promotion. And that's how I'm going to have a great day here with all of you guys. Give me something I don't know. Make me the dumbest one here, right? That's what we push for. Otherwise, we live in unfulfillment, right? So I hope that is really peaceful for you. I'm going to just pull you one Lenormand, okay? I know we've been here a long time, but clearly today was important, okay? So well done on you for closing out that awful cycle and understanding that was a forced upon you, you know. That was karmic surrender. Let me tell you what I received today, so clearly this is linked to you, right? You know, in the past, witches, wizards, anyone of alchemy, any alchemist in the past, Blair Witch, the witch trials, I was going to say Blair Witch Project, we'll throw that out there for the sake of it, but the witch trials, you would have been killed. What you've just been through in your life, that was the modern day witch trial. Whatever you felt internally, that was your past self reliving the witch trial. The prosecution, the inquisition, a lot of that was in your mind from what I could tell. Yeah? A lot of that was mental health, insecurity, fear, your own trauma right in front of your fucking face, full-blown PTSD, anxiety, freaking out, panic attacks, tanking, whatever the fuck that means, but that's coming to my head. Negative fucking connotations all the way around the sides coming at you. That's because your whole body was shifting your past lives when you was an actual full-blown fucking alchemist. Getting burned at the stake was really trying to shift. You see in Stargate, you see in Star Trek, got loads of visions coming, stay with me. You see in Star Trek where the black guy with the high top, he's got that visor against his eyes. I can't tell you the different kind of species they've got over there, but he's got the visor across his eyes and he sees things differently with his visor. That's what the universe had on you for the last year and a half, let's say. Forced that visor on you, so your vision's different and you're fucked. You don't want to go near anyone else because your vision's off, right? And you're like, shit, what do I do? You've had to learn to see through this new lens. That's equivalent to the witch trials you went on in the past, because we're only reliving our lives again and again on this planet anyway, right? So you've had to go through that cycle. I hope that makes sense. Just got 100 visions. That was a real clairvoyant share. So let's get you a Lenormand. Yeah, you're done, right? You're moving on now. Well done. Because the truth of the matter is, there was 2 ways for you to go in life. This is confirmation if this is really for you as well, right at the end here. There was 2 ways for you to go in life. One way, you're writing all of this down. You're making an offer. You're putting it into text. You're selling it on. You're giving it to someone. You're making it formal. You're signing the contract. You're doing an agreement. The other side, death. Why this was such a fucking oxymoron and confusing for you is because one couldn't happen without the other. Whether or not you signed that contract, you delivered that code, you worked on that project, you released this new thing, right? The book is wisdom coming alive. Your ideas, your manifestation. I see corporate all around you, so assuming it's the birth of something corporate, right? That couldn't come without the old you dying first. So you're looking at the fact that you need to die and you're like, oh, maybe I should go that way and die first. Let the old me die, right? How the fuck will you even do that in this reality with a consciousness of knowing the old me needs to die first? Where are you moving to? How does the old me die? How do I go through that ego death? We don't know, right? So you're stuck, you can't move. And you're like, well, I can write all of this out and move through the door, but you're like, but the old me hasn't died yet. So you're at an intersection, you're at a junction, and you can't go either or because you're trapped between the death that's coming or the death cycle that you're in, right? Fucking hell, samsara all over this shit, right? And then versus the wisdom in the book for the new beginning. So all you've been able to do is be somewhat stationary and relive these events, journal about this, write about this, build the machine, build the code, build whatever this is, read, develop, learn, study. You've been forced into this position where one couldn't actually exist without the other. There we go, karma, dharma, brahma, destiny. Yeah? Now you've wrapped up both of them at the same time and you can move now. Well done. You know what to do. You know what you want to go after. The wait is over. So when you're ready, you step out and you make that new move. Remembering that you are indeed the micro, ready to move into your new meso, ready to move into the new macro, ready to then really tunnel in and out of the exo. Discover the chrono. Whatever it is for you, start mapping out that future now. Start applying your new skills that you've learned, and don't shy away from the story of the struggle, because your stories help other people. The Steve Harvey story about how he came up and what he went through, amazing. The story of Elon Musk and what he went through with anxiety, panic attacks, nightmares, incredible. Because both of their stories inspired me to keep going when I was in the exact same situation as them. Last few pounds left. Well, Steve Harvey made it. Nightmares, insomnia, PTSD, panic attacks, can't breathe. Elon went through it. Do you get what I mean? It takes the strong ones to share their struggle that lifts other people up out of their struggle as well. So be one of those, because that is you and your destiny and your nature. So don't shy away from the trauma. Yeah? And if you're around anyone who makes you feel like you can't be you and that gives you PTSD and trauma, move away from them. Get away from him. That's Steve Harvey's quote again. Get away from him. Get away from him. Get away from him. That is on my Instagram from Steve Harvey from like a year ago. Get away from anyone who is trying to give you advice or stirs up negative vibrations in your energy that doesn't allow you to be the new version of you that you've evolved to. Because actually the transhumanist movement and the truest, I want to say, sight of evolution is in the face of something new all the time. And if you hold on to the stationary fixtures and fittings, you're never going to move on, right? The house has to change. Do you get what I mean? The features have to change. The elements have to change. You can't stay in the same location all the time and expect evolution, is the point, yeah? So well done for making it this far and coming out the other end. And knowing that whatever happens next is down to you, yeah? You're free now, so go for it.